Okay. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Let's see how my internet is at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Scott Davies. So how do I sound? Good morning, Bob. Hello. Boy, you're up early. You're not sleeping in on Sunday, huh, Bob? Wow, 5:45 every morning. There's no way I could not get up that early. It's not working, John? Thank you, Cloud Slinger. Okay, let's see here. Move some stuff out of my way. That's a good point, Bob. Good morning, John Mueller. Hey, Reptilian Pete. Thank you. I hope you're having a good Sunday as well. Okay, so I went live this morning to talk about specifically, there's a couple things I'm going to talk about. I have some vape mail in here. But what I mainly wanted to talk about is, you guys, last month I received Vapetins, which is a monthly subscription service. I also have my Vape News magazine that came in. It's a monthly subscription service. I did a review on them. I did a review on their signature box. I really liked what I seen in the signature box and on their website, and the way that they package things and the way that they had their subscription service set up. So not only did I want to make a review and recommend it to you guys, I wanted to be a customer and make sure that what I'm recommending to other people, because I've had a few people reach out to me and say, hey, I seen your review. Is it really good? Is it worth the money? That's been the biggest question. And a lot of people wanted to know about their e-liquid package. So I decided to go ahead and sign up for their monthly e-liquid package. Now, I do not have any discount codes from them. They did not give me any price breaks. I just went to their website as a customer and signed up for the e-liquid vape tin. So that's what this is. This is my first month of e-liquid vape tin. And I'm a picky vapor. Oh, I'm not going to be able to open this. Oh. Okay, Kim, be smarter than the box. Oh, they got the sides taped too. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and sign up for their monthly subscription service. It's $69.99, I believe, was the total for the e-liquid vape tin. And let's see. So yeah, with the discount, because if you subscribe and save, my discount brought the price total to $65.32, and that's going to be for the Vapetins liquid subscription package. So that's what I have here. Go ahead and take out my tin. Now, I don't know about how many months I want to be stacking up on these tins, but they're really nice tins. So let's see, my flavor preference is desserts and bakeries. Now I do vape some fruits, but I didn't check off the box of fruits with them, mainly because I want to see how long they can keep sending me desserts before they start doubling and resending me the same stuff. So for the liquid tin, they state on their card it's an industry-leading e-liquid brands, 300 ml to 400 ml plus, always 60 ml or larger bottles, active flavor preferences, subscribe and save. So they state their MSRP is $100 plus. The subscription cost is $65.32. So, and then of course in my thing comes review your tin. So apparently if you go and you actually purchase and you subscribe to one of their services, they'll include a card that tells you to review your tin if you like it. So let's see what I got in, oh boy, I need a bigger, what did I do with that box? Oh, there it is. So we'll get rid of all of this stuff out of here so I can actually see what's in my tin. I already can tell you there's one flavor in here I know 100% I like because they're also a sponsor of mine. So that's good. I mean, I needed to buy some more Dinner Lady lemon tart anyway. Oh, I just gave it away. So it looks like here, and please, you guys, if you've tried this e-liquid, comment in the chat and let me know what you think of these e-liquids, because some of these I've never tried. So I've got Vape Pink Swirl. Looks like Casa. I can't read that. What the hell? I want to say that says Casa Dega liquids. Cannoli Bee Breakfast. Now, I've heard of the Cannoli Bee one. So that's Cannoli Bee Breakfast. And then we have Melinda's Lemon Bars. And that is going to be by Vaping Jays. Don't know if I've ever heard of Vaping Jays. And then they included Dinner Ladies Lemon Tart. And then Kilo White Series. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 60 ml bottles. Out of those 5 60 ml bottles, there's only one e-liquid in here I've ever tried. It is an e-liquid that I really like, and that is Dinner Lady Lemon Tart. Oh, there we go. That's a 100 ml bottle. So we got 100, 120, and 120. So 340 milliliters of e-liquid for almost $66. Not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, you figure at $15 a bottle. Let's just say each bottle was $15 a bottle. You know, I pretty much saved $10. Not bad at all. Saving $10. That's awesome. All right, so Cloud Slinger says you've had cannoli line, very strong and thick flavor. Good. I love good bakeries. So Pink Swirl, let's see if any of these. The one thing that I notice I don't have in here is a flavor card. So I can understand where costs, like overhead costs for them, if they were to make up a flavor card for every single e-liquid. But I would expect them to like work with the e-liquid brands, but maybe that's why they're able to do it cheaper, is because they're not working with the e-liquid brands themselves. They're working with wholesale distributors. So maybe that's why they don't have flavor cards. Because I'm looking down, I'm going to have to go on the computer and look up some of these flavors because some of them aren't obvious. Like Vape Pink Swirl. I don't know. I'm going to assume because the word swirl is in it that maybe it's like a strawberry and cream since it's a pink bottle. This one is obvious, the Cannoli Bee one. Right there it says Cannoli Bee Breakfast, and it's got Fruit Loops. So that's a cereal vape. And then Melinda's Lemon Bars is pretty obvious. Lemon Bars. Lemon Tart, obvious. Kilo Ice Cream Sandwich. So lots of ice creams going on here. So that is my vape tin. Not disappointed at all. Let's see how they do the next month. Definitely all name brand e-liquids. I think the only one that I've never heard of is maybe Vapetins. I don't think I've ever seen them like widely. All the rest I have seen on Instagram and stuff, so I know those are pretty well-known brand e-liquids. Everything's in 3 milligram, which is what I specified, and all of them are dessert flavors, which is what I specified. So very happy with that. Awesome. I'm gonna get to try a lot of e-liquids and let you guys know what I think of those. Oh yeah, Scott Davies, the Nick Salt line. I love the lemon tart in Nick Salt because the lemon tart is my favorite flavor, of course. And one of the things that when I put it in a pod system, I don't lose any of that lemon salt or any of that lemon tart with their Nick Salt line. Hey, Vape Boy. Good morning. Good morning, Brian Feeney. Just going to go back and chat here. Hey, Ruben. Good morning. You're working, John M. Good morning, Standard Vapor. All right, the next thing I'm going to talk about, this is Dinner Lady related as well, is that Dinner Lady sent me over a promoter package, care package. I've talked about it before. Dinner Lady is one of my sponsors for Instagram. And they had a new e-liquid line came out that is called Tuck Shop. Now you'll notice one bottle is missing. The bottle that's missing is watermelon slices because I did a little funny picture on Instagram and asked people to caption it and then picked my favorite caption comment and sent them a bottle of e-liquid of Vape Dinner Lady in the flavor of their choice. So they chose watermelon slices. So sadly, I don't get to choose. I don't get to try watermelon slices, but that's okay. Because honestly, even with Dinner Lady being my sponsor, I'm always 100% honest of what I think about the e-liquid flavors and whether I like them or not. And Dinner Lady has hit and misses of e-liquid for me, but that goes back into the way that I vape and the flavor that I like. It doesn't mean that their company is bad or anything like that. And that's why I stand behind and I support Dinner Lady and I promote Dinner Lady is because I think what their company does is really good. I think they're a good company and I think they have very good quality e-liquids. So when there's a company that's really good, even if I don't like their whole line, I will promote them if I feel like what they're doing is good. So I can tell you right now, one of the Dinner Lady Tuck Shop flavors that I'm not going to even try is Bubble Trouble. And that is because Bubble Trouble is a bubble gum and I don't like bubblegum e-liquids. And I don't typically like candy flavored e-liquids either, but they had some in here that piqued my attention in their line. So the other flavor they have here is lemon sherbet, and that one piqued my interest. So I'm definitely going to be trying lemon sherbet today. And then they have apple sours. So if you're a sour apple person, this one will probably be really good. And then they have sweet Fusion, and Sweet Fusion is another one that I really want to try. So definitely going to be trying those. I'm going to load up the lemon sherbet right now while I'm talking to you guys. And of course, Dinner Lady sent me over their Tuck Shop coffee mug, which I currently have my coffee in because it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I need some iced coffee. Ah, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, so we've got the lemon sherbet. Now I gotta grab something real quick and wick it up. Make sure I got a mod with batteries. Grab an atomizer. There we go. Got an atomizer. Nope, not grabbing that one. Gotta move stuff. Here we go. My unicorn RDA. That's what I will wick up. Which I also just did a review on recently, the unicorn RDA, which is another really great RDA. Is there no battery in here? Oh, there's a battery in there. Good. Put it on my little Mad Mod. Andy Wonton. Me too. Me too. Yeah, Cloud Slinger, their packages, they really go all out for their packaging and their marketing. I love their new bottles. I mean, what do you guys think about e-liquid companies making like proprietary caps and stuff for the bottles? So these are just basic Chubby Gorilla bottles, but they've had this like special cap made for their bottles. But I'm so glad that Dinner Lady does have this line in plastic bottles, because as much as I love Dinner Lady, the glass bottles get old fast. Like lugging around a glass bottle with you, well, for me anyway, is just a disaster waiting to happen, because I drop my glass bottles all the time when I'm out and about. And have broken a few different glass bottles when I'm getting out of my car and stuff like that. Just going to re-wick this real quick. Yes, they are. I love the new tips that Chubby Gorillas come with now. They're so much easier, especially with when you're filling sub-ohm tanks. They're so much easier to fill tanks with. Hey, Leo Vapes. Yeah, I heard that Greece is getting a really, really bad go around right now with you guys' laws over there and them trying to restrict your e-liquids even further down. Oh, I got a low battery. That's why that won't come on. Well, poop. Well, poop, poop, poop. Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. All right. Oh, so while I'm talking about the other vape mail that I got, I went on a spending spree, you guys. I went and bought a bunch of stuff, but one of the things that I bought is from another one of my favorite e-liquid brands, and that is Adore e-liquid. So I went and picked myself up a 120 of Hazy Custard and a 120 of Pecan Sequence, Really good e-liquids. If you guys like bakeries and custards, Peconsequence, oh my gosh. Think pecan pie mixed into pudding. Like just, oh, it's just so good. It's freaking heaven. Peconsequence is heaven. And then hazy custard is a hazelnut custard. I'm a coffee drinker. I drink a lot of flavored coffees, hazelnut flavored coffees. So hazy custard is another one of those that I just love. Oh, and I picked up some cotton threads from Adore e-liquid as well. And that's what I'm using right now to wick up the unicorn RDA. What I love about cotton threads is when you're in a hurry to wick, it is super simple to wick. They're pre-cut, pre-measured. They have these little shoelace looking little things on the end of them. So they go right through your coils. And then just snip those off. And then tuck my wicks and I'm ready to go. Super simple. Makes wicking super easy. I don't use them all the time because, I mean, they are $5.99 for 20 pieces. Use the code PINKPUSSY on adoreeliquid.com for 10% off your order. But yeah, $5.99 for 20 of these little cotton strands. That is kind of expensive. So I don't use them all the time, but they are very handy on the go. Good morning, Erica. How are you? So I'm just juicing my coils up right now with this lemon sherbet. And let's see how Dinner Lady's new tuck shop tastes. Wow, I can smell the lemon. It smells like, right now, without even pulling it up to my nose, it smells like those lemon head candies. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tuck Shop is 100% their candy line. There's no, you're not getting bakeries or fruits. I mean, they're fruity candies, but they're 100% candy line. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So let's try and up the wattage. Wow. Okay, that was different. Wow, that's strange. Okay, so I was thinking lemon sherbet, so I was thinking there was going to be creamy notes in there. There's not. I'm not picking up any creamy notes. I am picking up a very, very tart, very sweet lemon. I mean, to me, it tastes like those lemon drops, or the more so the lemon heads, which I don't know if that's an American candy or if it's worldwide, but we have a candy here in the United States called lemon heads, and they're these little lemon drops. And that's exactly what these taste like. They have it has a sourness to it. And a very bright citrusy lemon flavor. It's like a not going to be something I would vape all day. Candy flavors are not in my profile. So it's definitely not going to be something I vape all day. But it is one of those things where, like, if I want to wake up my taste buds, I would definitely pick this up because it's very pungent. Not in a bad way. Just it's very pungent. Like my mouth immediately is like, what's this? What's all of this flavor? Or how, it's really sweet. It's got a sourness to it. Good morning, Peter Portland. Portal Latin. Aloha, Kevin K. Good morning, Mad Max Vapes. Oh, I'm sorry you got to go work on a Sunday, Erica. So, yeah, lemon tart isn't this lemon tart. No, lemon tart is my all day, every day. So lemon sherbet's not going to be in my flavor profile. I will say it tastes very much like a lemon drop candy. If you are into candy flavors, I highly recommend checking out Dinner Lady's Tuck Shop line. I have never had a bad e-liquid with them. It's always just been some of their e-liquids are out of my flavor profile range. But these, I really have a feeling that all of these are going to be very authentic to the candy that you would remember vaping or remember eating. So let's see. I'm not going to do the bubble gum. Do I want to try more or do I want to give them away? I hate opening bottles to test them when I know they're not going to be in my flavor profile because then I can't give them away. Andy, Lemonheads was the name of a band. Yeah, well, I'm sure you have a candy that's similar to Lemonheads. I'm sure you know, the little lemon drop candies. So the next, let's see, more vape mail. The next thing that I got in, I placed an order with Vapaholics Anonymous. I use his coils a lot in my build videos and for good reason. I really like his coils. So I bought a lot of coils and what's really nice about Vapaholics Anonymous, obviously, whenever you're dealing with handmade coils and craft builders, is that you can pretty much specify almost anything you want and they, you know, they'll build it for you. So one of the things that I told him that I wanted is I just wanted some basic, you know, I guess you call them basic bitch builds. I wanted just some basic fused Claptons because I like to run a lot of very small mouth to lung sub-ohm tanks or not sub-ohm RTAs. Obviously, if I'm putting a build in it, it's an RTA. But I like to run a lot of very small mouth to lung RTAs. And one of the things with mouth to lung RTAs, for me personally, and the way I like to vape, is I can't use big beefy builds in them. It just never performs as well. So he made me up a bunch of Nichrome 90, and I tell you, I have really come to love this metal. It heats up. The ramp time on it is pretty much non-existent. And it heats up really well, and the metal lasts a really long time. So I can get a really long lifespan out of the coils that I buy from him. So he made up a lot of really beautiful fused Clapton Nichrome 90s for me. And then, of course, I went with some other favorites that I have. And, of course, I don't go into really crazy build coils, but I do love his Nichrome 90 alien coils. So I had him do me up 4 different types of resistance. Pretty sure 4, might be 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. So I had him do me up 4 different resistance Nichrome builds in alien coils. So I got 4 different types of alien coils, and I had him do up some series build Nichrome coils for me, some parallel build Nichrome. And when I say that, it's just I'm referring to the resistance. So, you know, in series, you want builds that are like a point. I won't go any lower usually than 0.3 on a series, but ideally 0.4. You don't want to go lower than 0.4. So I had him make me up some 0.4 series builds for me, as well as some more lower ohm builds and some medium in the middle build alien coils. So that's that order I got from Vapaholics Anonymous. And of course, yes, he did hook me up with extra coils. He is a sweetheart like that. And I'm forever grateful for that Mitch hooked me up with some extra coils on top of what I ordered. And then last thing I got in here is this came from China. And I knew it came from China because it was that signature yellow box. But I got from Desire Designs something called a Squonky tank. Yeah, a Squonky tank. I have no idea where they come up with their names for these things. But on the back of the box, there's no picture of it. So I have no idea what it looks like because it's still got the plastic all over the box. But the box says it is a stainless steel and resin. The diameter is 24.5 millimeters by 55 millimeters. And it does say coils on here. So it's a sub-ohm tank. So why they're calling it a Squonky tank, let's continue reading. But you get coils, a 0.4 mesh coil and a 0.8 ceramic coil. Bottom feeding function. Unscrew the top juice hole. The juice can be squeezed into tank from the bottom directly. Top refill function. Unscrew the top juice hole. Refill the juice from the top directly. Are they saying that this is a Squonk sub-ohm tank? All right, Ruben. Well, you know what, Ruben? If you don't mind open juice bottles, hit me up via my email, kimmyvapes@gmail.com, and we'll talk there, and I'll send you some e-liquids that I just opened to test, but they weren't in my flavor profile. If you'd like to try some different juices. Eric as a Squonk tank. Yeah. So I'm going to open it because that has me wondering what the hell. Because when I saw it, I did open the box and looked and saw, okay, Squonky tank, whatever. But I didn't read the back of it. So I had no idea if it was an RTA or I really thought if it has something to do with squonking, maybe it would be an RTA or an RDA or an RDTA. That was what I was thinking. Maybe an RDTA. So let's see what's going on here. All right. Well, interesting. Lots of metal going on here. Can see the coil head through the window. So there is the Squonky tank. You've got a little glass window where you can see your coil head. And sure enough, there's a pin in the bottom. An open 510 pin there. So let's take this apart because I got to see. Okay. My coil head's still in the tank. I unscrewed the bottom and the coil didn't come out. Wait a second. I don't see a hole. Wait. How do you fill this from the bottom if there's no hole? Does it come apart more? And I can't take I can't even take the 510 out. It's just a beveled hole in there. So it's not like I can use a tool to take that 510 out. But looking at this side, does that look like the e-liquid could come out of that? There is a rubber gasket, so maybe it's underneath that rubber gasket. I'm sure there's got to be some threading or something here to unscrew that. All right. Well, and there's the second part of the tank. So there's your coil head. Interesting. So how do I remove? Oh, okay. So I can't get the top off either. How do I get the coil head out? Is it just placed in there? So to fill it, you literally just turn the top of the tank there. There's no unscrewing a cap. Hey, Hussein, I'm doing good. Hey, Jazzy Jag. So let me see if I can try and just pull the coil out. Yep, okay, the coil just pops out of the top portion. So we got, let's see if you guys can see this. So there is a hole in the bottom gasket there and a hole in the top here. And I don't know, I'm assuming that's for air to escape. So as the e-liquid can come up if you fill it from the bottom, or e-liquid can go, or air can pass through those two chambers. And then you got another hole there and another hole there. So I can't take that top cap off. And I can't seem to take this very bottom off. So guess what we're going to do? We're just going to go ahead and we're going to fill up the tank and we're going to see how it goes. So the first thing is, this is that like mesh type. It's not actually mesh because there's like, it's just like, it almost reminds me of chicken wire, the pattern that's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take some of my P Consequence by Adore e-liquid and prime my coil, and we're going to go ahead and fill this baby up and see what's going on. I got to guess. Oh, I have a Squonk mod. Cool. So I have a Squonk mod sitting here already with e-liquid in it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to prime the coil, and then we're going to put it on that mod and see if squonking it, if e-liquid comes into the tank. So, I mean, this would be interesting. I don't know. I guess it's a way, if it works and it works well. I do see a market for it because there are a lot of sub-ohm tank users out there. A lot of people that still use sub-ohm tanks that can't enjoy a squonk mod because they're a sub-ohm tank user. But I think the number of people that actually use sub-ohm tanks and would actually want to squonk a sub-ohm tank is like a 1% of a 1% of a 1%. Not a lot of people out there that are going to go, oh, yeah, that's what I've been looking for, is to squonk sub-ohm tanks. Oh, there's no threads there. So there's no threads at all anywhere on these coil heads. They literally all just fit in with gaskets. They have rubber gaskets at the top of the coil head and the bottom of the coil head. So there are no threading. That's interesting. So let's put the tank back together. Ooh, them threads. There we go. That first run of threads was a little scratchy. Okay. So I primed the coil head, but I didn't put any e-liquid in the tank. So the tank is empty. So let's see what happens if I put it on a squonk mod and try to squonk it. I'm really going to be curious about this. Really curious. I mean, if you look at the size of a regular RDA squonk pin contact and the size of this tank, look how much smaller that squonk hole is and how much smaller the 510 contact is. But I'm going to give it a try. Oops, I just fired a. See, we're pushing. Ooh, there's a lot of resistance there. I don't see anything coming out the airflow. Oh, it doesn't feel like anything's going up into the tank, but I could be wrong. Make sure they gave directions, right? So it says, bottom feeding function, unscrew the top juice hole. The juice can be squeezed into tank from bottom. Okay, so that's what I got to do. That's what that hole that was going from the bottom all the way to the top was for, was to let air through. So I opened it up. And now I'm trying to squonk. And I'm getting a lot of oh, I heard it suck something back down. The Boy, the best squonk I've tried. That's hard. That it really depends on what you're looking for. As far as for me, for regulated squonk mod, it has been the best one for me so far in the way that I like to vape. Now, if you use unregulated or mechanical, I can say there are better squonk mods out there in the unregulated and the mechanic box, squonk box area. But as far as regulated goes, my favorite two squonk mods are the Rage squonk mod and the Basium squonk mod. The Rage I like because it's a little more ergonomic to me than the Basium. The Basium has a very square shape to it, to where the Rage is much more ergonomic. Oh, wow. Guys, look. There's e-liquid in my tank. So it worked. It was not easy. I had to really push hard on that bottle and keep pushing. But it is filling all the way up. There it went. It took it a while. It took it a while, and then you got to close it, and then that kind of creates the vacuum. So there's the Squonky tank. I'll let that sit for a minute and let that wick soak that up. Speaking of other stuff I got in the mail, was the Profile RDA, the first, in my opinion, successful mesh RDA. This one, I have a review. It's already been recorded. It's in the queue, but I have other videos that have to come up before it. But there will be a review video on my channel of the Profile RDA very soon. And spoiler alert, I love it. And I think it is a very successful mesh RDA. They actually did it right, and it performs really well. Yeehee has the new sub-ohm squonk atomizer coming out. Interesting. So maybe there really is a market for sub-ohm tank users to squonk. All right, Erica, I'll see you later. Yeah, you know, I never got the Vandy Vape one. I didn't try it. I did hear a couple people that said they liked the Mesh RDA from Vandy Vape. What has always worried me with Mesh RDAs is the cotton. The cotton must remain in contact with that mesh at all times. Otherwise, that mesh will glow red, and you will get the worst dry hit of your life. Because if that metal glows red, that burnt metal hit, oh, that's just horrible. Now, I've had a dry hit on the Profile Mesh RDA. When I don't drip or I don't squonk, and my cotton dries out. I will say that the dry hit that I get from that mesh is the same kind of dry hit as I would get from a regular coil, because while that mesh, the cotton is getting dry, it's not 100% dry. There is still a little bit of e-liquid. So you get that first dry hit and you know right away, I've got to re-drip just like you do with a regular coil. So I really like that. I like that the first dry hit you get isn't like the dry hit of Satan, which is what I saw with previous mesh atomizers. Was when you get a dry hit, you get like the dry hit from Satan because the cotton collapses or something like that. Hey, vaping veteran. Yeah, Jerry. I mean, I had often wondered why, because we have the RDTA, right? So RDTAs have been out forever. And I have a review for one coming up too that I'll be will be on my channel soon. And RDTA tanks, add the same ability to enjoy an RDA, but have the e-liquid capacity of a tank. And I always wondered, well, when's the Squonk RDTA coming out? And there's been a few. There's been a few RDTA tanks now that do come with optional, optional squonking pin in the accessories. So, I mean, squonking a sub-ohm tank isn't really all that out of the box, I guess. You're just filling it from the bottom than rather from the top. But with squonking and filling it from the bottle, you have to have it on a squonk mod. But they do have gaskets throughout that whole series. So if you use this tank on a regular mod, e-liquid's not just going to pour out onto your mod. It does have gaskets on each level that create pressure inside that tank so as that your e-liquid doesn't run back out the 510. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Shane. Yeah, Rico. Exactly, Rico. So that's what I was saying about the Profile RDA is they have that spring-loaded ceramic block that sits under your cotton. So as your cotton naturally collapses over use, that spring-loaded block pushes the cotton up to keep it always in contact with your mesh so you don't get that horrible dry hit of burning metal. You just get a normal dry hit that you would get vaping on a regular coil RDA. Okay, so that was covered the Vapetins, covered the dinner lady, covered the other stuff I got in the mail. Yep, exactly, Greg. Good morning, Big Doc. The same headset, this? Oh, the Bluetooth headset? Yes, I love this thing. Actually, I have two of them, and they're not expensive. They're like $20 on Amazon, and they perform really well. Yeah, I did. I came back and I went ahead and started early. I got impatient and decided to go ahead and go live at 8 instead of 9. Good morning, Joel. Yep, it's the Jaws one, Amy. Yep, I love it. About the only thing I noticed with the Jaws Bluetooth headset is the microphone on it isn't that great. But as far as the sound quality and everything and the battery life, I go 2 days between charges with this thing. Yep, 16 hours. It's one of the longest lasting ones I've had. It's the Jaws. It's Impow Jaws is the name of the headset on Amazon. And it's a Bluetooth headset. So it's got a battery, charges via USB. And you can get up to 20 hours light time, active talk time on this headset. All right, so this is sat and soaked for a while. So let's go ahead and see. It's a 0.12. Let's see how she vapes. It's got a bit of a hollow sound to the airflow. Looks like this is a 510 instead of an 810. Yep. So this tank has a 510 drip tip instead of an 810. Interesting. It's been a while since I've seen a sub-ohm tank with a 510. Lately, everything's been 810. I don't mind the drip tip, though. The 810 on this is pretty. It's just that little blue with silver accent honeycomb pattern on there. Shane, do I have to answer that, Shane? This is the Squonky tank, Joel, by Desire Design Tech. It's a sub-ohm tank that you squonk. Oops, and I just fired it. There we go. So I can squonk my sub-ohm tank. Yes, it does wrench. It looks like chicken wire. It's not bad. I've got a lot of Desire Design Tech products. Another one that I'll have a review on very soon is these Bulldog sub-ohm tank. I've been loving this sub-ohm tank. The coil heads that it has is really good. The airflow on this thing, I love the airflow on it. I love the look of it. It's like a 5.5 ml capacity bubble tank. This has been a really good sub-ohm tank. I've been using this thing for a month now, and I need to get my review out on it. But I've been vaping it almost every day. So that's the Desire Design Bulldog sub-ohm tank. And now I have the Desire Design Squonky tank, which is vaping good. I mean, big dot. Yep, that's how I avoid bedhead and messing up my makeup. I never have to reapply makeup because I just don't go to sleep. That way my makeup's always nice and clean. But I really have been digging Desire Design Tech's coil heads. That really big teardrop opening for the wicking, I think, is one of the reasons why I like it so much. I never have to deal with dry hits on this. On these coil heads, the way that they're designed. The flavor isn't quite coming through full yet, but something I noticed with Desire Design Tech's other sub-ohm tanks is usually the first mil or two is like the break-in period. I have to vape through a couple mils of e-liquid before that cotton really breaks in and I start really tasting all the flavor of my e-liquid. Not as bad of a funky taste as I've had with other sub-ohm tanks, but it is still, there's still that break-in time. And I've really had a hard time finding a sub-ohm tank that those pre-built coil heads don't have that like break-in time. Yeah, was you around, Joel, when I was talking up your profile RDA? Review is already uploaded on YouTube. It's just scheduled to be released. Another device I forgot to mention that I've been using and a review is coming for. I need to wipe off my lipstick because I got icky lipstick on the drip tip. Oops. Is the Keys Stacked RTA. I've been using that one for about three weeks now. I've been using that one, and that one's also got a review coming up. I've been liking it. I mean, I've been using it every day. I've been using it, so review's going to be coming up on that soon too. Yeah, I agree, Greg. Yeah. So the way they have this set up is that instead of having a cap that you remove to fill the tank from the top, it has this little slider that you have to open to fill it to the top. And I think what that does, and I'm no mechanic or engineer or anything, but the holes on the inside in between each connection, combined with that cap with the gasket, creates that seal in there so that you never have to deal with leaking, which is promising because any of you guys out there that use sub-ohm tanks, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have with sub-ohm tanks, almost all of my sub-ohm tanks, like I can pull this one up right now. It's been sitting a while, as you can see. When I look at that, when I tip it over, anytime you leave a sub-ohm tank sit with e-liquid in it, they leak. They slowly accumulate e-liquid in the base of the sub-ohm tank. So if you sit it overnight with juice in it, go to bed, you wake up in the morning, and the first time you pick it up and you take a vape, you end up with e-liquid dropping down on you. So it'll be interesting to see if with the Squonky tank, if that happens, because the airflow chamber is completely sealed off from the tank because it's a squonk tank. So it'll be interesting to see if this thing even, if it's even possible to make this one leak. The other sub-ohm tank I have here is the Bulldog sub-ohm tank. And I will say, out of a lot of the sub-ohm tanks, this one doesn't leak nearly as bad as some of my other sub-ohm tanks. This one's been sitting on my desk off of a mod for a day, and I don't have any leaking with it. Now, I do notice with this sub-ohm tank, when I take the cap off to fill it, and then I put the cap back on, that pressure, my coil floods some, and I may get a drop or two in the base. So that's one of those problems with sub-ohm tanks, that they kind of always leak. They would be interesting to see if this one ever leaks, since it's got all those seals in between each chamber. Amy, Dead Rabbit RTA. Yes, I have a review on my YouTube channel already of it, and I took it off my Mad Mod to put on my Unicorn RDA. Where'd I set it? So here is the Dead Rabbit RTA. So my thoughts on the Dead Rabbit RTA, I do like this RTA. There's very few top airflow RTAs that I like. And this is one of them that I do like. If you build it correctly, you can get great flavor off of this RTA. It has the Dead Rabbit style post inside. The same kind of post that the Dead Rabbit RDA has is what it has on the inside. But because it's top airflow and you're dealing with a chamber in there, I do find that coil position is everything with this RTA. You can end up getting whistling if you don't build it correctly, and you can also end up muting the flavor if you don't build it correctly. So it's one of those RTAs that if you're an experienced user, you're an experienced coil builder, and I don't mean like hand making your coils, I just mean that you've had enough experience with a bunch of different types of coils that you understand placement and stuff. This is an RTA that if you're a big fan of the RDA, you'll like the RTA, but it does come with its cons, so to speak, and that is that it's finicky to build on and get to perform at its best. Like it has a narrow little window, in my opinion, of where it performs best. And if you go outside that narrow little window, it won't perform as well. Great thing about it is it's top airflow, so it doesn't leak. There's never a time when this thing is leaking, ever. Like I even take the base out to change the cotton with e-liquid in it, and I just leave this part sitting upside down and it never leaks. So that's the pro to it. If you're somebody that takes RTAs with you on the go and you don't like the fact that bottom airflow RTAs can leak, this is a good one because you can wick it really sloppy. It's never going to leak on you. I have done really, really sloppy wick jobs on this thing, and it still wicked good, and it never leaked. The only problem is with building it, you kind of have to find the sweet spot to get the most flavor out of it and to avoid getting a whistling sound with it. Yeah, that's the other thing, Amy, is the spinning base can be a nuisance because you can't put the deck on your mod and screw the tank down onto your mod. You actually have to take the deck off of your mod and screw the tank on. And that's because of the spinning deck. The 510, once it's seated down on a mod or even on, here's my atomizer stand. So even on my atomizer stand, because it has a 510 thing down there, that if that 510 pin is locked up on something, the base doesn't spin. And then without it spinning, you can't get the tank to screw down on it. Which I think both of those things I did mention in my review, the spinning base, and then of course, coil positioning can be finicky. Getting a little bit of a dry hit sensation right now from this. I mean, I see bubbles coming out. This is an 80-20 VG-PG mix e-liquid. Not getting a full dry hit, but it's like at that cusp of not a dry hit, but it feels like that cotton's dried out close to the coil. Yeah, I used to do that with a lot of tanks and RTAs, Jerry. There used to always be this saying people would say, you know, when you fill it up, you tip it and then close it. and that's supposed to help with the pressurization inside the tank. Honestly, after vaping for really quite a few years and trying both methods, I'm too lazy to do that. And also, I don't really notice a difference. Not saying that it doesn't make a difference, but I don't notice the difference. Thank you, Shane Smith. Good to know that my stream is good. No, it's actually Shane Smith, the airflow on it. It's restricted. It's a restrictive lung hit. It's got a 510 drip tip, and the airflow slots aren't very big. So it's a restricted lung hit. Definitely, Shane. It's a restricted lung hit. Yes, Amy, the Falcon and Fire Loop mesh. One of my first mesh ones. Where's it at? Here it is. This was my favorite first mesh sub-ohm tank right here. The Falcon tank. Shane Smith, you're a chain vapor. So am I. Yeah, after letting it sit for just a couple minutes, now it's hitting really nice and saturated. So I think it's just because I chain vape too much. Yeah, that's true, JJ. Greg. Good morning, Spectra. How are you today? So I think instead of doing a review on these other 3 remaining Tuck Shop e-liquids, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and do a giveaway in chat for you guys. So X1 in the chat, and I'll randomly pick one of you guys, and you will get the Dinner Lady Tuck Shop Sweet Bubble Trouble. This is a 60 ml bottle of 3 milligram nicotine. So if you don't vape nicotine, don't enter. And also, if you don't like candy flavors, don't X1, because these are all candy flavors. We have the Tuck Shop Sour Apple, and then we have the Tuck Shop Sweet Fusion. So I will go ahead and send one lucky winner all 3 of these 60 ml bottles. Now, preface that with, you must live in the United States, because otherwise it's not going to be worth it. Shipping is like $35 to ship out of the United States. You can go buy these from Dinner Lady and spend less than $35, I'm sure. And you will pay shipping, but shipping's only going to be like $7. So go ahead and X1 in chat if you would like to win the Dinner Lady e-liquid. All right, Shane, have a good day at work. You know I went live this morning for you, right, Shane Smith? Because you always have to go to bed early. All right, let me go ahead and go to participants. And let's see here. And if you live in Canada, you can enter too, because Canada Post is only like $15 for me. If you're willing to pay $15 for shipping. Actually, anybody, if you're willing to pay $35 for 3 bottles, you can enter. But I just feel like you can go get this line for, you know, that price. All right, go to participants. Go ahead and copy. Everybody's name. Copy, and I'll go to random here. New window. Random.org. List randomizer. Paste all the names in. So I'm going to go ahead and read off. We got Amy Herndon, Chris Peggins, Dane Bentley, David Smith, D-Bone, Donald Hurst, Easy Rider, Florida Boy for 20, Jay Jerry, Take My Name Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oop, oop. Jay Jerry, Ruben, Scott Davies, Spectra, Shane Smith. He's gone, so I'll take him out. Yep, got you in there, David Smith. Okay, Ruben. I'll go ahead and take your name out. All right, so the list of names I have is Amy Herndon, Chris Peggins, Dane Bentley, David Smith, D-Bone, Donald Hurst, Easy Rider, Florida Boy 420, Jay Jerry, Scott Davies, The Spectra, Tremaine Henry, and Vaping Veteran Val Kill. And then I'll see here, make sure I've got everyone that I see X1. All right, let's go ahead and randomize. Dun, dun, dun. And let's see, we got number 1 spot's empty, number 2 spot's empty, number 3 is Dane Bentley. Let's see if Dane Bentley X1. So, yep, Dane Bentley X1. So Dane Bentley, please email me at kimmyvapes@gmail.com. In the subject line, put Dinner Lady Giveaway. In the body of the email, I need your real name, your shipping address, and a photocopy of your ID so as that I know you are of legal vaping age, and I will send you over the Dinner Lady Top Tuck Shop line. You want me to pivot? All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Scott Davies is the next one on the list. Scott Davies. Oh, you're in the UK? Okay, hon. So let's go back to the next one. Oh, I'll add Fuzzy Vapor in. I see Fuzzy Vapor just X1. So let me go back. And I'll add Fuzzy Vapor in, and I'll take out Dane Bentley. And who else am I taking out here? And take out debone. All right. So let's take out debone, and I will add in fuzzy vapor. All right. Go randomize. And we got Chris Pagans. Chris Pagans. And I see you did X1, Chris Pagan. So if you want the Dinner Lady Tuck Shop line, email me at kimmyvapes@gmail.com. In the subject line, put Dinner Lady Winner. In the body of the email, that's okay, Fuzzy. In the bottom of the email, make sure that you include your real name, your shipping address, and a photocopy of your ID so that I know that you're of legal vaping age. And then you will also need to pay the $7 shipping, and you will get 3 60 ml bottles of the Dinner Lady line. Are we good? I don't see Chris saying pivot, so looks like Chris Pagans is the winner. Watch, he probably clicked off and doesn't even know he won. That's okay, though. Good, good. You're still here, Chris. Good. Also, you guys, real quick, I want to note about my Patreon. You do not have to be a paying patron to follow my Patreon. And the reason why I say that is I don't do a lot of giveaways here, pre-recorded on review giveaways, just because YouTube is really finicky about giveaways on YouTube, and I'm not sure of what I can and can't do. There's in the writing, in the actual terms of service agreement, YouTube prohibits raffles or giveaways. Now, we've kind of all been ignoring that terms of service, but with the FDA coming down on vaping, with all of the stuff that the mainstream media is doing towards vaping, we have seen YouTube get more strict on vaping channels. So I don't really do a lot of giveaways on my YouTube channel. What I do is on my Patreon in public posts. I make a public post on my Patreon. So anybody that follows my Patreon, they don't necessarily have to pay, can see those posts, and I give away things on my Patreon because there I can do that. Well, technically Patreon is now telling YouTubers that they can't do giveaways, but they're only saying we can't we can't require people to be a certain level tier in Patreon. Basically, we can't make them pay to get entered into a giveaway. Giveaways have to be for everybody. So I do open giveaways on my Patreon page. The link is, of course, down in the description. It's also on my main YouTube page. There is a link to my Patreon, and you can go and follow me on Patreon. Additionally, you can subscribe to my blog on kimmyvapes.net. That is my own website, and I do giveaways there as well. I'll make a post on my website, kimmyvapes.net, and if you enter there and leave a comment there, you can be entered to win giveaways that way. So while I'm not doing giveaways directly on YouTube anymore, I do still do giveaways. It's just on my website, kimmyvapes.net, and on my Patreon, Kimmy Vapes on Patreon. Good morning, Sombersky. And also on my website, kimmyvapes.net, I will be uploading coupon codes to companies that I either work with, or if I see deals that are really good, I'll be also posting those under links and coupon codes. There I have some affiliate links that I post that, you know, if you're shopping and anyway, if you click my affiliate link, I get a couple cents and it's no extra cost to you. So that's where I put my affiliate links, as well as also I'll be putting links and discount codes that you can get on websites with codes that they give me. Thank you, Sumbersky. I have been. I hope you're doing well too. I might have to listen to this replay and see how loud this tank sounds to you guys, because it sounds kind of loud to me. So anybody have any questions? You know what? I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewick this because Dinner Lady Tuck Shop's lemon sherbet is a beautiful flavor. It definitely tastes like a lemon drop candy, but I'm not a candy vapor. So I'm going to rewick, and I am actually going to try some of these e-liquids from my vape tin, because those are right up my alley. And I've never tried some of these. So let's go ahead and rewick again. Oh, Joel. I'm sorry to hear that. What's the price on the Vapetins subscription for? If you subscribe, it's $65.52, I think I said. I went ahead and signed up after they sent me one for review. I went ahead and signed up for one. Oh, it's not in there. Where did I do with the card? There it is. So for the juice one, it's $65.32 per month. And I got 5 bottles of e-liquid. 4 are 60 ml bottles and 1 is a 100 ml bottle. All name brand e-liquids. And the flavor preference I chose on my flavor card was desserts. So I got all dessert, different variations of dessert lines. Yeah, Fuzzy Vapor. Hopefully I can do this more often during the day. I think that's what I'm going to do. I've talked to a couple people and they've said, yeah, do a live show during the day. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing, is doing lives during the day instead of at night. My favorite juice profiles. So my favorite juice profiles are desserts, bakeries, desserts and bakeries. That's my favorite. So any combination of dessert or bakery flavor. I don't prefer candies. I do like fruits, but fruits are seasonal to me. So in the summertime, I do vape more fruits than I do in the wintertime. In the wintertime, I love desserts and bakeries and really warm, heavy-bodied vapes. So like your cinnamon rolls and your custards and all those deep, dark, really thick and rich notes I like in the wintertime. I absolutely don't do candies, and I don't do menthols or tobaccos. I find that a lot of people do, Amy, which you know what's funny? The fact that most of my subscribers have the same flavor profile as me is that I can't give away the e-liquids that I get that aren't in my flavor profile. It's so hard to give away e-liquids that I get for review that aren't in my flavor profile because everybody vapes what I vape. So they're not interested in candies and menthols. Well, thank you, Shane, for working and listening. I'm sure your wife appreciates you working, and I appreciate you listening. Joel. Yeah. Yeah, you can look at it that way, Joel. I ain't saying no. All right, now what do I do with my wicks? Fuzzy vapor. You miss them because of sleeping. Oh, come on, Fuzzy. Who needs sleep? Right, Ashley? Let's get some Sunday morning vape shows going. I don't know. I don't know that I'm a very good live show person. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm really boring. So I don't know that I could ever really. I mean, I'm happy that the 20 or 30 so of you people are enjoying it. That makes me ecstatic. Like, I'm happy that anybody wants to sit and listen to me talk. But I don't know how successful a Sunday morning vape show with me would be because I'm quite boring. So I'm curious how many of you live in a state that has passed vaping regulations such as taxes or e-liquid bans or any kind of nicotine ban or anything like that. Do any of you live in a state right now that's trying to impose taxes or ban flavors or anything like that? Vaping veteran, I'm not nearly as bad. Oh, so you're in Queens, New York. So New York right now has been dealing with some taxes and stuff, haven't they? Yeah, Sumbersky. That's when Indiana last year, Indiana had some crazy law. Oh my gosh, poor Indiana. I'm from Indiana originally, and my mother still lives in Indiana, and I was trying to get her to quit smoking and start vaping. And right after she started vaping, Indiana introduced legislation that prevented companies from selling e-liquid without a security license something. I can't even remember now. I'm going to say it all wrong. Anyway, basically no companies could ship e-liquid to Indiana. So my mom gave up on trying to vape because e-liquid was too hard to come by because there was literally only one company that was approved with this security firm to sell e-liquid in the state of Indiana. And it really messed up business there, and it closed a lot of shops in Indiana because it didn't just extend to online sales, it extended to both online and brick and mortar. So they had a real hard time with it. Ooh, which one do I choose, you guys? I don't know which one. I'm not going to do Dinner Lady Lemon Tart because I love the shit out of her. So I already know I like her. But I've got Madeline's Lemon Bar, Cannoli Bee Breakfast, Vape Pink Swirl, and Kilo's Ice Cream Sandwich. Which one should I try? Vape Pink? All right, you win, Rico. I'm going to try Vape Pink. Wow, really? So Arkansas is that bad? Yeah, they are, Amy. Right now, so the FDA has the wise idea that by getting rid of online sales, that will somehow stop youth from vaping. All right, that smells different. I have no idea what the flavor profile of this is because it does not say anywhere on the bottle what the flavor profile is. You like Vape Pink Swirl? All right, well, hopefully I'll like it. We'll see. Not much happening in Washington State. Yeah, here in Georgia, we're kind of we've all been really lucky. There's no legislation coming up in Georgia, no taxes, no bans, anything like that. The only thing that's happened in Georgia so far is that they banned vaping on school campuses, government grounds, hospital grounds. So you can't vape anywhere you can't smoke. And prior to them issuing that, people were vaping where you couldn't smoke. And now they kind of took a stance of no, vaping is a tobacco product, so you can't vape anywhere where tobacco product use is prohibited. And that's the only thing we're really dealing with on a state level right now in Georgia. Yeah, I mean, I worry every day. I'm constantly checking CASA's newsletters, and I'm constantly checking my local legislation because, yeah, I mean, it could hit at any time. At any time, our government here in Georgia could say, hey, everybody else is taxing the crap out of this. Why don't we? Or, I mean, I don't see Georgia ever acting like California. Well, I mean, I'm not going to get political on my channel, but Georgia is the polar opposite of California. So I don't see Georgia ever trying to nanny their citizens like that. But I could see them trying to go for a cash grab and taxing the crap out of it. All right, it's Vape Pink. Let's see how she tastes. It was really fruity. Good morning, Tom Klasky. Thank you, Ruben. I try. Yeah, Stumbersky, them Georgia dogs. I used to have my upstairs computer desk chair is actually one of those big racing gamer chairs with a big Georgia Bulldogs logo on it. All right, I've got to look up Vape Pink's flavor profile. Because I'm getting a lot of fruit, but I wouldn't say it's just the strawberry. not getting like just a strawberry. I thought maybe it was just going to be like a strawberry and cream. Hey, Steve054. Good morning, Freddie B. Yeah, debone. Same here. Federal is really scary. Yeah, it's Sombersky. So let's see. Vape pink e-liquid. Let's see. What is the flavor profile of this? Swirl. Swirl vape pink. It's like having your favorite birthday party treats in your tank all day long with this 60 ml swirl e-liquid by Vape Pink. This creamy confection of lemon, lime, and orange flavors bring to life a sweetly refined sherbet flavor. There's no mistaking the absolute perfect blend of fruits with a hint of cream to solidly round out this sweet treat. Well, that explains why I wasn't getting strawberry, you guys. Yep, it's a sherbet. So I would not say that this is a winner for me because it's not creamy enough for me. What I don't like about Vapetins is the flavor options that you get to choose are a little too vague for a vapor like me. So they have fruits, desserts, beverages, menthols. What was the other? I'm gonna have to go to their website now to remember. Vape tins, liquid tin. We will. So you get the option of fruit, desserts, candy, menthol, beverage. Well, to me, the pink is a fruit. I would not put it in the dessert line to me, but I also know that desserts for me is more like bakeries, confectionaries, not so much a sherbet. Because to me, when I eat sherbet ice cream, it's fruity. It's like, it's not ice cream. Sherbet isn't ice cream. It's fruit to me. So the vape pink is not one that I would say would be an all-day vape for me. It would be okay. It would be another one of those flavors that are like a summery flavor. Something I would vape in the summer when I want something lighter and less complex and less, dense. Yes, Wrench. Maple donut flavor. That's what I need. Yeah, Sombersky, I don't do heavy cinnamon. So Flaky French, I will recommend the hell out of this. Flaky French by Crumbs Vapors is a French toast, and it's not. There's a fine line between French toast and cinnamon roll, and that fine line is cinnamon. When you put cinnamon into French toast, you start to get more of a cinnamon roll and less of a French toast. With Flaky French, what the notes that I pick out on it is butter, syrup, and egg. I get like an eggy flavor to it, and then I get that bready bakery, which is all the things I love about bakery flavors. Papaya and guava mixed. Yes, Adore Pecan sequence is amazing. Fracking French toast like the girl a 40-year-old virgin. Nice, Ruben. Yeah, so I would say people that like lemon, lime, orange would like this, but for me, it's too much fruit to be considered a dessert, but it is technically a dessert. I wish that Vapetins would have a little more of a subcategory for people to pick to narrow down their flavors. But at the same time, I subscribe to this because I want to try new stuff. I'm a picky vapor. I have a very narrow flavor profile. And so I don't always go out of the box myself. So using Vapetin subscription is kind of forcing myself to go out of the box and forcing myself to vape e-liquid that normally if I was looking to buy e-liquid on a website and I read the flavor description, I never would have put this in my cart. So it forces me to try things because I'm sure there are a lot of flavors out there that I've turned my nose up to that if I actually had them in front of me and tried them, I would like them. So that's going to go into another fruity pile over there away from me. I need to try icing on the flakes because I've heard a lot of really good things about that. Oh, wait. Rico said something about a tiramisu bourbon cake. Oh my gosh, you're talking exactly what I like. So one of the things that I've been vaping on a lot of is where'd it go? Mafia Princess. Where the heck did she go? So Smacks e-liquid line. By the way, I love all of the Smacks e-liquid line, including their fruity flavors. Like I vaped the whole 60 ml bottles of their fruity flavors. That says a lot because I'm a fruity flavor snob. I don't vape a lot of fruity flavors. This one that's pretty much gone is Lick It. And the Lick It is and another thing that I like about Smacks e-liquid is they put their flavor profiles on their bottles. So Lick It is a lime cake pop with a lemon drizzle icing, or a lemon cake pop with a lime drizzle icing. One of those ways. And I really love that. But they make one called Mafia Princess, which is a tiramisu that is so good. Yep, I've never tried Royal Vape products, Wrench. Stick you in the fruity pile, Sumbersky? Yeah, Shane Smith. I mean, well, you're my patron. You know the list of e-liquids I posted up. I have boxes and boxes of e-liquids that I've opened, dripped, and that's it. Never went back to. And it sucks. I hate wasting e-liquid. I hate seeing dollars go down the drain. But I don't have anybody around me within, driving distance that vapes. So it's hard to pass along e-liquid that I've opened, Yep, Steve, that's very true. Very true. That's why I got into DIY. I got bored of the e-liquids that I was buying from companies, and I wanted something that was exactly what I wanted to vape. But man, DIY is some work. It is some work. And I just don't have time to DIY anymore. You got 2 bottles you can't give away. Yeah, Killer Custard never was a big winner for me. I did find another e-liquid that is very similar to Killer Custard, but in my opinion is better. And that was Emergency Vape Stashes Custard. Emergency Vape Stashes Custard, in my opinion, is I won't say 10 times better than Killer Custard, but it's definitely a better take on that flavor profile, on that custard profile. Yep, exactly, Shane. That's awesome, Steve. That's great. That's the whole purpose of all of this, right? Is to keep us off smoking or dipping. If you're a dip user, former chewing tobacco user, vaping can work for you too. Philly, have the medical directors or medical regulators been contacted regarding the FDA director's breach of the basic principle of first do no harm? He should be struck off as an MD. I wish it was that simple. I really do, Phil. I wish it was that simple. I mean, there are a lot of doctors out there that, yeah, they take that oath as to first do no harm, but money, money is all I can say. Money rules the world. Well, congratulations, Steve. That's awesome. 3 years, no smoking. That's fantastic. The owner of your B&M vapes and chews. Yeah, he did. Though he absolutely did condemn himself. I mean, he's talking out both sides of his mouth. And I think that is the MD in him. You know, on one hand, he's a doctor and he's talking about harm reduction. I mean, he's made open statements stating that if every smoker converted to a harm reduction product like e-cigarettes, it would be beneficial. But then he talked out the other side of his mouth, the political side of his mouth, saying that that vaping is targeting the children, and if something doesn't change, they're going to, knock it down and they're going to have to ban vaping. It's, he's talking out both sides of his mouth. A vape virgin. I don't think that makes you a vape virgin, Sambursky. You don't inhale vape, you draw on it like a cigar or pipe. I mean, I've met people that do vape like that, not very many. I've met very few people that vape like that, but I have met people who vape like it's a cigar. And those people I find are usually they weren't cigarette smokers. They were pipe users or cigar users, and they're using it for that sensation. And as a smoker, our sensation, in my opinion, the sensation of smoking came more deep in the lungs versus a cigar user. Yeah, Rico. I mean, that's how ridiculous it is. That's exactly how ridiculous it is. They're attacking our flavors. But alcohol comes in all different flavors. Alcohol commercials on TV of bubblegum flavored alcohol, of young people laughing and partying and drinking strawberry flavored alcohol, root beer flavored alcohol. It's definitely not fair, for sure. But we can't look at alcohol and throw our hands up and say, well, what about alcohol? alcohol is regulated, it's regulated on its own. It's a separate entity. What we have to fight, in my opinion, is being classified as tobacco. We're being classified as tobacco, so we fall under everything that's tobacco related. They don't want flavored cigarettes. They don't want flavored tobacco products. Well, vaping has been lumped into tobacco. I think what we need to fight most about is that we are not using a tobacco product. We are using a smoking cessation or tobacco harm reduction product, a tobacco alternative, and really need to get the FDA to recognize that we're not a tobacco product and therefore should not be regulated as a tobacco product, but regulated as a product in itself. It's, we need our own bracket to be regulated in, because with anything that you're like, anything like this, I want regulation. I do, because I want to be safe. I don't want some company playing around with my e-liquid and putting God knows what in my e-liquid. So regulation is needed, but we shouldn't be held to the tobacco regulation, in my opinion. Jelly donut. Wait, you got jelly donuts over there, Sumbursky? I want a jelly donut. Hey, Logan Vapes, good morning. Hang on, guys. I got to catch up on chat again. Yeah, I feel that way too, Phil. Not a law enforcement eats donuts. See, this is a hard thing about trying to read chat, is you get all these moments of silence. Spud nuts. I was thinking, thank you for asking, Sabursky. I was going to ask him too, but I have no idea what spud nuts are. Hey, Zelame. So the easiest way to transfer from smoking to vaping is, in my opinion, if you're a smoker and you're looking to quit smoking and you want to start vaping, is you need to go to a local brick and mortar vape shop. Go in, tell them you are a smoker looking to transition to vaping. If it's a good vape shop, they will ask you, how many cigarettes a day do you smoke? Are you a pack a day smoker, a half a pack a day smoker? Because when you're a smoker and you're transitioning, you want to match your nicotine to how much nicotine you consume as a smoker. So you want to start off with a device, what they call a starter kit. I do recommend pod systems. I recommend smokers to try pod systems. And the reason why I say that is because they're high nicotine and they mimic the exact same draw as a cigarette. So you want to start with something that closely mimics what you're already using. And that will make it less of a shock to your system when you start vaping. Now, this doesn't work for all smokers transitioning to vaping. I know a lot of smokers that transition to vaping straight into sub-ohm tanks, straight into using advanced devices and rebuildables and RDAs. But for the most part, I recommend going to a vape shop, picking up a pod system in a flavor that you like, whether it be tobacco, whether it be menthol, or whether it be fruity, and use that pod system and use it like you would a cigarette. Treat it like you would with a cigarette. If you have a cigarette after a meal, have your pod system with you and vape on your pod system after a meal. If you go outside of your house to smoke, instead of using your pod system around the house, go outside, do the same habits you do as a smoker, because a large part of the addiction to smoking a cigarette is the habits, the mouth, the hand to mouth, the going outside, having a cigarette on a work break, having a cigarette after a meal, having a cigarette. Make sure that you treat your device like you did your pack of cigarettes, and that helps cut down on that feeling of it's not the same as a cigarette. Because your mind, a lot of it's mental. You've got to trick your mind into thinking that you're smoking a cigarette, because the nicotine's the same. You're still putting nicotine in your body. It's the mental block there of it's not a cigarette. So you have to overcome that, in my opinion. And that means starting with a device that's going to be very much like a cigarette, a small mouth to lung pod system, tight draw, higher nicotine. Don't go vaping 18 milligram in a sub-ohm tank, because you're going to get throat hit from hell. Get a small mouth to lung device. Start it, depending on how much you smoke, start at 12 milligram nicotine, and then see how that goes. If it's too much for you, if you find yourself getting sick from vaping, but you don't want to stop vaping as much as you're vaping, move down to a 6 milligram nicotine, and that way you can vape as much as you want and you're not going to get Nick sick. Yep, exactly, Greg. So everybody say hello to Zelame. Zelame is my sister, just to give that away. Why she's subscribed and watching my YouTube, I don't know. But since she's watching, I want to say, Zelame, I love you, sweetie, to death. And I can't wait to see you in October. She's going to be coming to visit me for my birthday, and I miss her so, so much. That's my baby sister. So if any of you are mean to my sister, I'm going to come after your ass. Yep, exactly. So what I find usually with smokers when they're dealing with trying to find their nicotine level is either it's not enough nicotine or it's too much nicotine. So if you find yourself getting nick sick and nauseated, lower your nicotine. I don't see the harm in vaping more. If your nicotine's low and you don't like that you're constantly having cravings, up your nicotine. Vaping veteran. Yeah, Sue Orange. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Sue Orange. If you're a smoker and you're looking to quit and you stumbled somehow across my live right now, go watch The Smoker Show by Phil Dimitri and or by Phil Pizzardo and Dimitri the Vaping Greek. The Vaping Greek on YouTube and P. Busado on YouTube. Those two channels, they heavily focus on smokers and people that are looking to transition from smoking to vaping. Yep, that's true, Steve. Yes, always have a spare. Here's the motto that pretty much all vapors live by. One is none. Two is one. Well, two is one is none. So if you have only one vape device, you might as well have none. Because if this, for some reason, if your battery goes dead or something goes wrong with your device, you're going to be tempted to go grab a pack of cigarettes. So don't just buy one pod system, buy two. Keep an extra one for when that battery goes dead. So you always have a charged device and a working device. Ruben. Yeah, the flavors that I started with, I don't really vape anymore. Yeah, they're not made, especially Chinese mods, especially internal battery mods, you guys. Internal batteries mods, that battery inside there has a lifespan. It has set number of charge cycles and then it's gone. It's done. It's dead. So if you're dealing with an internal battery mod, don't expect it to last you years. You know, expect that that battery only has X number of charge cycles and then you're going to have to buy a new device. If it's an external battery device, you're going to have to replace batteries after X number of charge cycles. Now, the mod may last you. I have mods on my shelf back there that I've had for 3 years, and they still work to this day just as good as the day I got them. I have other devices that broke after 6 months. Now, I can say I don't have any devices that I can think of that broke any sooner than that. And I don't have a lot of devices that broke. But it all depends on how you use them, the wear and tear, if you drop them a lot. Are you your work environment? Are you putting them in a dusty environment, a wet environment? All of those things come to play. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Valkill. What can I ask? What is your favorite all day vape that isn't being made anymore because of the flavor ban? You want me to go live with Zella? I don't know if Zella would want to be on a live with me. I don't know. It might happen because I actually got a message about a charity event that's going to happen on October 19th. And I got invited to join with the charity event. But I told him my sister's coming in on the 19th. So I couldn't really do it. But if Zella's down, me and Zella will go live for the charity event. Thank you so much, Steve054. I really appreciate that. She's so down. Oh boy, me and my sister together live. Oh boy. That would be interesting. Good morning, Socrates. Dragon Chi by Hallie Khan, which is based in Cali. Wow. So companies are stopping manufacturing e-liquids because of the flavor ban. And I mean, right now that's only in California, but that's a real thing in California. So many people, I think, are relying on bills not to pass when we are watching every day bills are passing. Flavor bans have went in effect in cities in California. It's not just taxation. You know, there are real legit flavor bans happening. And if they happen in one state, it's very likely that another state is going to see that state do it and try to enact the same thing. Which is why I say advocate, which is why I cannot urge you guys enough to go to CASA. Even if you're not into advocacy, that's your right as a human being. If you don't want to advocate to other people, that's your right. I strongly recommend you go to CASA.org and sign up for their newsletter and find out if there's any regulations going on in your state. Because even if you don't advocate, CASA makes it very easy for you to send a text message, to send a tweet, and to send an email to your representatives that tells them that you do not want taxation, that you do not want flavor bans. Make your voice heard that you are a vapor and a voter in their state and that you vape and flavors are important to you. Make your voice heard. Yeah. Yeah, cigars are, while they're regulated as well as under the tobacco, there are certain limitations to what cigar makers can do. And they can't, I believe last year they put into place that cigar manufacturers can't come out with any new flavors, but I could be wrong. I could have my information mixed up. Good, Amy, good. And one of the reasons why cigars aren't being targeted the way that we see vaping is you don't see a bunch of kids running around smoking on cigars. Let's be honest. I mean, yes, there are kids out there that smoke Black and Milds, but you don't see as many of them. That's not what the media is attacking right now. The media, and that's what it's all about. The media is attacking vaping, is drawing attention to vaping. If the media was going after kids' use of Black and Milds and cigars, we would see more regulation coming out against cigar manufacturers. Yeah, Jay Jerry, that is one option. You know, they could look at banning certain flavors in pod systems, but let's be real, Jay Jerry. I know for me, when I started smoking at 15 years old, I mean, I started at 14, but I wasn't actually a everyday user of cigarettes until I was 15. I didn't smoke for flavor. Cigarettes taste like shit, you know? And I don't think kids are juuling for flavor. I absolutely 100% do not think kids are juuling, as they call it, and using pod systems for flavor. They're doing it for the same reasons we did it as kids, because we're rebellious, because we think it's cool. Yeah, Shade Smith, they do. Yeah, teens use cigars for different reasons. Yeah. So, Drew Moyer, no, the flavor ban does not apply to DIY e-liquids. But understand that when they come after flavorings for commercial e-liquids, that they could go after flavorings for DIY next. Oh, absolutely, Phil Lee. I mean, pharmaceuticals, all of them, they're the ones pushing the money to the media to talk about it. Media doesn't talk about stuff that doesn't generate revenue. It's all about the money and all of this. It's all about the money. Sue Orange. 50 milligram is too much. I agree. Yes and no, Socrates. I think that pod manufacturers, the pre-filled pod manufacturers do need to offer step downs 100%. They need to offer step downs just as like a smoker would be looking at nicotine patches. If you are a former smoker that tried to quit with nicotine patches, then you know nicotine patches have a step down system. You start with the highest milligram nicotine patch and then you step down I think it was every 4 weeks or something like that. I was recommended to step down my patch. I think pod systems should be the same way. I think there should be a step down system with pod systems. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Socrates. It is. I mean, these kids are getting what they equate to being high. If you watched, I have seen too many videos of kids talking about getting high with nicotine. And it's their, they get that nick buzz and they like it. It drives them. The problem is that nick buzz comes with a nick addiction because their tolerance gets raised. So they have to vape more and more of that 50 milligram nicotine to get that buzz. And then they're addicted. Just like with cigarettes. I can remember when I was young, when I was 15 years old, smoking a cigarette would make me so dizzy and like, oh, that nick buzz. And then after a while, the more I smoked cigarettes, the less I had the nick buzz. And I mean, as an adult and a smoker, I never got a nick buzz. Like it was just, I got my nick fix. I was craving and jonesing for a cigarette. Yep, same for me, Steve-O. That's exactly how my progression went. I tried the Nick patch, the Nick gum, the Nick lozenges, Chantix, which was an absolute no-go for me. I couldn't even take it for a full month before my doctor pulled me off of it. And vaping was the only thing that after I started vaping, I never have picked up a cigarette since. And it's the only thing that did that for me. You think making pod systems prescription only would be the answer? Well, the problem is the reason why that can't happen, Valkill, is that we're regulated as a tobacco product. Nicotine patches, nicotine gums, nicotine lozenges, those are all regulated as pharmaceutical and smoking cessation. Pods are regulated as tobacco products. So it would never be prescription only unless they take us out of the tobacco category. If the FDA reassigned us to a different category or made our category a category of its own, like the EU did, then yeah, pod systems could be prescription only. Yeah, that's very true, Greg. Then you've got the pharmaceutical company in control. And honestly, I don't want anything vaping related being categorized as pharmaceutical. Because we see in the United States, other countries are different because of your healthcare systems. In the United States, we're a capitalist country and the pharmaceuticals can raise their prices to whatever price they want. So a life-saving drug can cost you $1,500 and there's nothing you can do about that price. Yeah, and I could see that regulating the nicotine levels, Jerry, if they are worried about addiction and they're worried about the danger of kids using e-cigarettes. Because let's be real. If they ban pod systems, teens are going to try other devices. There's no stopping teens from trying what they want to try. We know that. We also know that the numbers for the number of teens vaping is at an all-time low right now. It peaked during the fidget spinner fad. Remember when fidget spinners were a thing? That was about the time that juuling was a thing. When every kid in school had a Juul. It was a fad. Now I've talked to my son. My son's very open with me about kids at school that vape, but they're now made fun of for vaping because it's no longer a fad. It's not the cool thing to do. Wrench. Yeah. Anything can be addictive, but I mean, when we're actually looking at addiction, yeah, I think that they're attractive for several reasons, not just because they're easy to hide. They're attractive because they're cheap, they're easy to get a hold of, they are easy to hide, yes. But my son's come home and told me that he's seen kids with devices like this. He's seen kids in school that use rebuildable atomizers and big devices like this. So it's not just pod systems, but pod systems are where are pod systems sold? Convenience stores, 7-Elevens, gas stations. You go into a vape shop, you're going to get carded. For most vape shops, you go into a vape shop, you're going to get carded. You go into a 7-Eleven, there's a higher chance you're not going to get carded. You go into a vape shop and you try to order 20 Juuls, and they're probably going to question you as to what you're doing. You go into a 7-Eleven and you buy 20 Juuls because all your friends pulled their money together to get them Juuls because they're underage. 7-Eleven isn't going to give a crap whether you're buying them for kids. Good morning, Eric Sutherland. They don't card you. Yeah, that's always the most depressing thing. I don't know what you're talking about, 1CE, but that's not what I'm talking about on my live show right now. Yeah, exactly, Valkill. They are. And my son's told me, the kids that are of age to buy them, they sell them in school. And there's more that they sell. My son's seen kids doing drug deals and stuff at school. Are we so that's what blows my mind. We've got media panicking about Juuls, nicotine, okay? There are kids that go to school and sell oxys, Xanaxes, crack, meth, weed. My son easily can walk into his school, and if he wants, he can get any drug of choice in his school from another kid. But we're worried about nicotine. We're worried about Juuls. It's an epidemic. Give me a break. Yeah, that they did that with my dad too, Amy Herndon, and it only worked for a little while for him, and then he went back to smoking. Yeah, Zella May says, I know up here teens did it for the vape tricks, not realizing what vaping is for. Yeah, absolutely. And that's seems to be, I mean, I have a 17-year-old son. So we talk a lot about it. I mean, his mom vapes and his mom advocates, and I'm always talking about helping smokers quit smoking. Most of the kids he talks to, they're not doing it for nicotine. They don't even understand what vaping is meant for. It's about the tricks. It's about looking cool. Let's do some vape tricks, you know? Teens will be teens. It's insane that they blow it so far out of proportion, but nobody talks about how tobacco use with teens is lowest it's ever been. Exactly, Monty. Exactly. I mean, if you go and actually pull up the statistics, the surveys that the CDC and all of them do, vaping is at an all-time low for teens, and so is smoking. Tobacco use in general is at an all-time low with teens. But look at drug use and age of drug use with teens. There's far more things we could be worried about with our kids than nicotine. While it is a concern, I'm a parent. Both of my kids, no, I never ever want them to try nicotine. I don't want them to try alcohol. I don't want to try drugs. I want my kids to live a very nice, healthy, clean life. Is that realistically going to happen? Probably not, because I was a teen. I remember as a kid when I was around my friends. So I educate my kids. I let my kids know the reasons why I don't want them to do these things, the harm that comes from it, the negative impact it has on your body, on your health. Will they listen? I mean, they're kids. There's a reason why there's so many laws around kids and why we don't just pop a baby out and say, okay, you're an adult, go make your own decisions. Why you have to parent your child until they're 18 years of age, because their brain's not fully developed and not fully formed to make rational decisions. So they're gonna try, they're gonna experiment. I hope my kids never do. I hope my kids never touch a tobacco product, that being vaping or tobacco cigarettes. I hope my kids never try drugs. I don't want them to go through that. Breakfast face? What the hell? Jay Hayes, what the hell is breakfast face? Explain to me, Jay, what breakfast face is. You like my cute hair with my little alfalfa standing up crap going on? I can't wait till my hair grows long again, you guys. I made a huge mistake by cutting it short, because now when I ponytail it, I get these funky little, looks like little feathers, like I'm peacocking over here with my little funky sticking up hair. Do I just wake up? I wish I had just woke up, Jay. Well, thank you, Jay. Your daughter's 26. Well, congrats on raising another human being, Ruben. Raising human beings is very hard. Ice. That was not on my channel. I was a guest on somebody else's channel, so I can't speak on that, Ice. So hopefully you quit asking. Yeah, I that was on a different channel. Like people said in chat, Ice, that was on a different channel. I have no input on that at all. Exactly, David Smith. I mean, talking to my kids, I mean, well, hell, my kids were anti-tobacco while I was a smoker. They every day begged me, "Mommy, please quit smoking. Mommy, it's going to kill you. Please don't smoke." My kids are so anti-tobacco. And they're kind of anti-vaping because they don't like that I vape. They rather me not do anything. Because the school, when they have their DARE program, nicotine is a drug in the DARE program. The schools put out flyers that nicotine is a drug. I mean, they're really hammering down on the whole. My son comes home to me and says, so when my son was 11 or 12, they had their DARE program thing. And he comes home to me, and at this time I was still a smoker. He comes home to me and says, "Mommy, why do you do drugs?" I'm like, "What? I don't do drugs." He says, "Yeah, you do. My school says a cop told me today because they'd have the police officers come in and, do the whole DARE thing. All the kids go to the auditorium. He's like, he said, you do drugs, Mommy." I said, "What? What do you mean drugs? What drugs am I doing?" He's like, "Your cigarettes. Cigarettes are drugs, Mommy. Why do you do drugs?" I I'm not doing drugs. I'm sorry. Cigarettes are not a drug. Are they a controlled, regulated substance for adults use only? Yes, but they're not drugs. I'm sorry. I don't believe that nicotine is a drug. I mean, it's naturally occurring in plants. It's addictive. Yes, it's a chemical that is addictive. But I don't see it as doing drugs. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you see nicotine as a drug, as doing drugs if you're doing nicotine? Because I just can't class it that way. But that's what schools are classing it as a drug. And they're telling kids that if their parents smoke, their parents are doing drugs. So because I still use nicotine, my kids don't like that I vape. They don't like that I do drugs. And they're, in that sense. Yeah, exactly, Drew Moyer. Caffeine is a drug also by that argument. Are we out there shouting, "Don't drink coffee"? Are they out there like trying to ban coffee and soda? Well, California, I think, is trying to ban soda. But then again, California is all about Starbucks too. So it's like, wait a second. Oh my gosh, Amy. Wow. That's heavy. Shane can tell you about drugs. Yeah, California banned straws. That's a whole nother topic that I know this is a vaping channel, but I'm torn on the straw thing because I do feel like plastic waste is a big problem. I mean, if you live on a coastline where you go to a beach, it becomes very evident that plastic is a huge problem. Okay, Andy. Your brothers don't smoke, but they are caffeine addicts. So that's another good question. So, as former smokers or as nicotine users, if you vape with nicotine, you're considered by the population, general societal view, as an addict. You're a nicotine addict. what about caffeine addicts? You know, what about people that can't go their mornings without coffee? Which, by the way, I'm also a caffeine addict. I can't go a day without coffee. Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to that. I mean, I understand. I've watched a few videos on YouTube about the straw debate specifically, and I'm a big fan of Philip DeFranco. I don't know if any of you guys watch a lot of YouTube outside of vaping reviewers and stuff. I'm a YouTube addict. Hi, my name's Kimmy Vapes. I'm addicted to YouTube. I watch a guy called Philip DeFranco. He does the Philip DeFranco show. He talks about a lot of stuff. He talks about stuff in the news. He talks about politics. He talks about YouTubers. He talks about celebrities. He kind of talks about a little bit of everything. And he did a episode on the straw debate, on banning straws, why we should, why we shouldn't, who does it hurt, how does it help, will it make an impact? And there were a lot of sides to like using paper straws, and well, paper straws will degrade and, you know, it's less impact on our planet. But then you also have to think about the fact that if you put them in a drink, within a few minutes, they're soggy and no longer work. And then also the thought of like the cost in manufacturing paper straws, the cost in trees, you know, paper, then you get into the tree lover type thing of, well, we're using paper straws, now we're killing trees. Hey, okay, Jay Hayes, have a good day. Yeah, true, Eric. Not a single warning on caffeine or sugar. Yeah, I often wonder the health impact of caffeine and sugar on our children. And, you know, what's the long-term health impact there? What's the long-term health impact of all the sugar and the caffeine that our teens are drinking? I mean, my son's 17, but at 15 years old, he was begging me to let him buy Monster energy drinks. I don't drink soda. I don't buy soda for my household, and I don't drink soda. The only time my kids are allowed a soda is when we go to like a restaurant. I'll let them order a soda. And up until this year, they always could not have caffeine soda. It always had to be caffeine-free soda. Now my kids, even though they are allowed, if they want to order a caffeine soda, they usually order root beer or Sprite. And those are their two favorite sodas. Good morning, Vape Ross Vape. Bubba Hale. Yes. Yes. Caffeine and nicotine is a must-have to be socially acceptable behavior. I'm the same way. Nobody in my household will talk to me before I have my cup of coffee and my vape. Because if you come to me before I have those two things, you're likely going to go away with hurt feelings. Coffee drinking non-vapors are hypocrites. Yeah. What about that? What about non-vapors that they're out there with their Starbucks cap, you know, their Starbucks Instagram pictures and always like, gotta have my double shot espresso every morning. Yeah. My son would beg me for energy drinks because all his friends were drinking them and I never let him have them. He was like, can I please? Can I please? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that to your body. Your kidneys. No. I mean, they don't just put caffeine and sugar in a lot of those energy drinks. They have all kinds of other stuff too, right? Like it's not just caffeine and sugar. I mean, there's shit ton of caffeine and sugar in them too. Go make a cup of coffee. Good point, Bubba Hale. How many of them had flavored creamer in their coffee? Yeah, I let my son finally try one this year. He's 17 years old. I've got only 1 year left where I get to dictate what he does. So I let him buy a Monster Energy drink with his own money, and he liked it until he finished the can. And then he complained his heart was racing. He complained that his chest hurt. He complained about how he felt, the come down, because you get that peak and then you get that come down. And he didn't like the downhill part of it. He didn't like when he started coming down off all that sugar and caffeine. Andy. Yeah, that's what I've tried to start doing. I've started buying the Starbucks unsweetened black cold brew coffee, and I add a little bit of flavoring to it because I need to stop. I need to get rid of calories anywhere I can. Yeah, Eric, it feels that way right now in the United States. It really does feel that way. Like they want us addicted to opiates and dying of cancer. That's what I feel like our government wants of us right now is opiate addicts and dying of cancer. Do with your life or else. I wish the or else thing worked. I'm a single mother, so it's like I don't know. I relied way too much on my children's father being the hard ass. So I take the explain, educate approach most of the time, and it's working for me. So yeah, absolutely. No money in cures. The money is in the treatment. They don't want to cure us, they want to treat us because to cure you, well, once you're cured, you're done. They're no longer making money off you. But if they can treat you and give you enough side effects with that treatment that you got to get other medications to deal with the side effects from the initial medication that you got to take, you're just slowly dying. All right, sweetheart. Have a great day at work, honey. Love you too. Yeah, I feel that way a lot. I mean, I've had to start taking blood pressure medication, and the list of side effects for the blood pressure medication gives me high blood pressure. Yeah, isn't that the wonderful thing about when you read the side effect list and one of the side effects is may cause death? It's like, okay. How long have I been live? Oh my god, it's 10:40 a.m., you guys. Wow. I can't believe my internet's still running. I had to load up data before I went live. So I only loaded up 1.5 gigabyte because I figured, I'm only going to go live for 1 hour. So $10 and that'll carry me over. The live stream might just randomly end. Ooh, injections for arthritis. Well, thank you very much, Bubba Hale, for your service to our country. Yep, and that's the truth, vaping veteran. That's why I had to stop taking it. Yeah, I'm an hour ahead, Sumbersky. It's 10:46 a.m. for me. Steve-O, 20 years Navy retired. Thank you for your service too, Steve-O. What are you talking about, Andy? You're in the UK. You're in the future. Because it's like afternoon for you guys already. It's like evening time. So vaping veteran must be in the California or over on the West Coast side, not just California. There's other states in that time zone. So vaping Val is on the West Coast, so it's 7:46 for him. Bubba Hale, you're in South Carolina, so you're on same time zone as mine. So we got past, present, and future in chat right now. Oh, Andy, you're right. So sorry, Andy Ackerman. Oh, you're right. My apologies. You're right. I was thinking Andy Jones. Where's Doc Brown when you need him? What was that? I want to say it was. I can't remember the number. I suck at movie quotes. When he says gigawatts, I always loved that. That's when he would say gigawatts. You're in Cali too, huh, Jay? 1.21 gigawatts. Yeah. Now I want to go watch Back to the Future just because I miss it. That's so nostalgic. Yeah. 1.21 gigawatts. What was I thinking? Great Scott. In Michigan, had to turn the heat on. Oh my gosh, it was hot yesterday. I went outside yesterday. We're getting a lot of rain. So it's so hot and humid in Georgia. I mean, our AC is running. Oh, it just kicked on. Our AC is still running full blast. YouTube vaping veteran, thank you for coming over. Yeah. Geez, Greg, you guys are already getting snow. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I live in the South, you guys. I do not miss the cold at all. As much as I complain about the heat and humidity, I'll take the heat and humidity all day over snow. I mean, cold doesn't bother me as much as snow. Snow is terrible. Yeah, Georgia is really humid, Andy. I have family that live out in Arizona, and I went one summer. They're like, don't come in the summer. Don't come in the summer. It's way too hot. It's unbearable. I went and visited in the summertime, and I was like, what are you talking about? It don't feel hot outside because there's zero humidity. I mean, it's hot, and if you spend enough time outside, you will get sun poisoning. You'll get overheated because without even knowing it, you get overheated. But it just doesn't feel hot like it feels when you're in a very humid state. Jay Morris, I'll take 107 before I take 90 with 90% humidity. Yeah, because 90 with 90% humidity feels like 120. You can't breathe when it's like that. Yeah, when my kids went to visit last year in Arizona, they got caught out on the lake in a monsoon. It was crazy. They sent me video of the monsoon, and I've never seen anything like that before. Greg, a hair dryer to the face. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this live show. I think I've been almost 3 hours live. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much to every one of you for tuning in today and keeping me company. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Don't forget to hit the little like button if you want. If you don't want, you don't have to hit the thumbs up. I'm not overly obsessive about thumbs up, but it's there. If you want to hit the thumbs up and let me know that you like this live stream, please do. Reviews coming soon on the Profile RDA. I have a review for that scheduled to come up live. I also have a review on the Sobra kit that will be going live very soon. I have a review on the Mach 1 by USV coming up very soon. I will have a review on the Desire Design Squonky tank, sub-ohm squonk tank coming up very soon, and many more reviews. Thank you. It's been so much fun. Mwah. See you guys later.